Tero, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate you coming in. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Kuuhubb, if you could.
So Kuuhubb is a new company based in Helsinki, and we both invest in application vendors and we help them both with distribution and licensing branding deals across the globe.
So we've seen so many successful studios coming out of Finland and the Nordics. What do you think's driving that? What are the common themes you're seeing behind the studios that are having success?
Well, I think that many of the Nordic studios are highly original. They don't have as much financial pressure as some of the US counterparts. Many of these teams have very small funding and they have to operate kind of like in a very sort of like a tight budgetary constraints, but that also means that they don't have a pressure to immediately be commercially successful. Many of them are very independent minded and they want to kind of do their own thing and follow their own vision.
So when you look at those companies that are being successful, what kind of trends do you see on the monetization front specifically, whether it's in-app purchase or advertising? What are these companies that are doing so well? How are they thinking about that and how are they evolving that part of the field?
I feel like many of these companies are really pivoting towards video ads at the moment, and I think one great example is Fingersoft. And they had a massive success originally with Hill Climb Racing, hundreds of millions of downloads. And now they did a sequel a couple of months ago and it had a very deeply integrated, very smartly done video advertising element. And it's been working really well. So I think that's the template a lot of the smaller studios are now following. Are
there new monetization strategies that you're thinking about or working with your teams on that you're excited about?
Well, I mean, it's really interesting. I've talked to a couple of game studios who really want the advertising to reflect their core audience. For example, if it's a war game studio like Camonzo, which is launching a drone wars game soon, they kind of really want the advertising to be aimed at 20-year-old male players, which is their core audience.
And do you think about ad diversity when it comes to these implementations? Are there concerns about having too many ads that are all for other games or too many ads that might be all for one type of brand? Is that a concern?
Well, I guess the biggest fear or complaint I hear from game studios is that they really don't want to have too many game advertising units in their games. I feel like many companies feel like that can create a sense of clutter. So most of these companies would really prefer to have brand-related advertising. That's what they're looking for.
Anything new for Kuuhubb that you're working on that you'd like to share?
Well, we're looking at several different lifestyle design applications. I think that there's been a wave of really interesting applications that appeal to people's sense of creativity.
Tero, thank you for joining us.
It was a pleasure.